We are called to serve humanity, endowed with the art and science of caring. We are built on integrity and discipline that transcends through every generation. Immaculate and amicable, we are the source of hope to ailing ones, and the foundation for building a healthy world. Together we shall stand. No seas are great, no seas are caring, an epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be in us. From near and far we have gathered with one goal, to uphold the good name of our profession, and for our neatness and splendor. You for innovative and initiative, and for honorability. G for gentleness and love. No seas are great, no seas are caring, an epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be in us. We are called to serve humanity, endowed with the art and science of caring. We are built on integrity and discipline that transcends through every generation. Immaculate and amicable, we are the source of hope to ailing ones, and the foundation for building a healthy world. Together we shall stand. No seas are great, no seas are caring, an epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be in us. From near and far we have gathered with one goal, to uphold the good name of our profession, and for neatness and splendor. U for understanding, R for responsiveness, S for selfless service, I innovative and initiative, N for honorability. G for gentleness and love. Seas, an epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be in us. We are called to serve humanity, endowed with the art and science of caring. We are built on integrity and discipline that transcends through every generation. Immaculate and amicable, we are the source of hope to ailing ones, and the foundation for building a healthy world. Together we shall stand. No seas are great, no seas are caring, and the epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be a nurse. From near and far we have gathered with one goal, to uphold the good name of our profession, and for its and and for you for understanding, R for responsiveness, S for selfless service, I innovative and initiative, N for honorability, G for gentleness and love. No C's are great, no C's are caring, and the epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be a nurse. We are called to serve humanity, endowed with the art and science of caring. We are built on integrity and discipline that transcends through every generation. Immaculate and amicable, we are the source of hope to ailing ones, and the foundation for building a healthy world. Together we shall stand. No C's are great, no C's are caring, and the epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be a nurse. From near and far we have gathered with one goal, to uphold the good name of our profession, and for neatness and splendor, U for understanding, R for responsiveness, S for selfless service, I innovative and initiative, N for honorability, G for gentleness and love. No C's are great, no C's are caring, and the epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be a nurse. We are called to serve humanity, endowed with the art and science of caring. We are built on integrity and discipline, sent through every generation. Immaculate and amicable, we are the source of hope to ailing ones, and the foundation for building a healthy world. Together we shall stand. No C's are great, no C's are caring, and the epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be a nurse. From near and far we have with goal, to uphold the good name of our profession, and for neatness and splendor, U for understanding, R for responsiveness, S for selfless service, I innovative and initiative, gentleness and love. Nurses are great, nurses are caring, and the epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be a nurse. We are called to city, endowed with the art and science of care. We are built on integrity and discipline that transcends through every generation. Immaculate and amicable, we are the source of hope to ailing ones, foundation for building a healthy world. Together we shall stand. Nurses are great, nurses are caring, and the epitome of humility and service. We are certainly ordained for this nation. Yes, I'm proud to be a nurse. Here and for God, our profession and and splendor. You for understanding, R for responsiveness, S for selfless service, I innovative and initiative, N for honorability, G for gentleness and love. Nurses are great, nurses are caring, and the epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be a nurse. We are called to serve humanity, endowed with the input on integrity and discipline that transcends through every generation. Immaculate and amicable, we are the source of hope to ailing ones, and the foundation for building a healthy world. Together we shall stand. Nurses are great, nurses are caring, and the epitome of humility in service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be a nurse. From near and far we have gathered with one goal, to uphold the good name of our profession, and for neatness and splendor. You for understanding, R for responses, S for selfless service, I innovative and initiative, N for ability, G for gentleness and love. Nurses are great, nurses are caring, the epitome of humility and service. We are especially ordained for this vocation. Yeah, I'm proud to be a We are called human, and out with the absence of real integrity and discipline that transcends through every generation. Immaculate hearts of hope to ailing ones, and their foundation for building a healthy world. Together, no seas are carrying, and their big humility and service. We are especially for this occasion. Yes, unto yours. From here we have gathered with one goal, to uphold the good name of profession and on its splendor. Your understanding are for responses selfless service, innovative and initiative, and for gentleness and love. These are great, no seas carry, and the epitome of humility and service. We are especially okay. I'm proud to be in us. We want to serve humanity, endowed with the essence of it. We are built integrity and discipline that transcends through every generation. We are the salt of healing ones, and the foundation for building a healthy world. Together we shall stand. No seas are great, no seas are caring, and the epitome of humility and service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be in us. From near and far we have gathered with one goal, to uphold the good name of our profession, and for neatness and splendor. You for understanding, R for responsiveness, S for selfless service, I innovative and initiative, N for honorability, G for gentleness and love. No seas are great, no seas are caring, and the epitome of humility and service. We are specially ordained for this vocation. Yes, I'm proud to be in us.
Hi everyone.
Hello everyone.
Welcome to the Nursing Specialties
Specialties Conference
Conference
2025.
2025.
We're so excited to have you all here.
Yes, we're so excited to have you all here and we are pumped for the event for today. Thank you so much for joining us today.
This event promised to be impactful conference.
Impactful conference.
Yes. Are you ready?
I am ready. Well, I don't know about you, but I am so pumped for this event. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are your hosts for today and my name is Sadiq Philip and with me here is
Oluwamayomikun Ogunlana.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are glad to be able to host you for this day. Yes, today we have a lot of things to do, quite a number, and it is going to be exciting if you follow through and if you do everything with us. So ladies and gentlemen, as we work with you, get your biros, your papers, your pens, everything that you'll be using to make you comfortable for this conference. And if it is water that will disturb you, carry a cup of water, put it beside you. Now. Let's have an amazing ride together. Over to you.
Image has been known to have impactful conferences. I mean, lives have been touched through Image. And today we have three very powerful speakers. I mean, very powerful speakers.
Very powerful
and speakers. They are set to try. And without
introducing our speakers to you today, let's start with the first speaker. We're introducing Dr. Damilare Akingbade, who will be speaking on transforming African nursing through digital innovation, research, and mentorship, building sustainable pathways for the future.
Dr. Oluwadamilare Akingbade is a distinguished community health nursing specialist, postdoctoral researcher, and lecturer at the Faculty of Nursing, University of Alberta. His career spans clinical excellence, transformative digital health research, and global mentorship. With academic roots in Nigeria and a PhD from the Chinese University of Hong Kong, his award-winning research has focused on innovative mobile health solutions for breast cancer care. He is the founder of Noriscope Incorporation, a global healthcare consulting firm dedicated to empowering nurses and organizations through research and innovation. As a certified global nurse consultant and senior lecturer at Cleveland University. As a certified global nurse consultant and senior lecturer at Cleveland University, Dr. Akingbade exemplifies visionary leadership in advancing healthcare systems and nursing scholarship worldwide.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy this impactful session as we have Dr. Damilare Akingbade with us now. Over to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi everyone, good morning from here, good afternoon, good evening, anywhere you are connecting from all around the world. I'm so excited to be part of this presentation today, the Nurse Emerge Conference 2025. Congratulations, Nurse Precious, for this landmark event. It's a lot. I know a lot has gone into this event's preparation and every other thing. Congratulations, well done to you and the team members for birthing this important innovation, creating the space that we can all learn from. Well done, well done, well done. Right, so let's get into it. I'll be sharing my screen shortly as we look into a very important topic that I've been given. Thank you so much for inviting me. I don't take this for granted. Thank you so much. Right, our topic is transforming African nursing through digital innovation, research, and mentorship, building sustainable pathways for the future. Right. And like I said, Dr. Oluwadamilare Akingbade, presenting today. Okay, so our outline, introduction, we are going to be looking into how to build digital innovators in African nursing, research as a tool for transformation, and the very important role of mentorship. Introduction, nursing will shape Africa's healthcare future. It's important for leaders, healthcare leaders, politicians, the general public to know that if we want to improve Africa's healthcare future, we cannot do that without improving nursing. So if we invest in different healthcare professions without investing in nursing, we will not be able to achieve the Africa's healthcare of our dream. Right, but this can only happen if we equip nurses in the areas of innovation, research, and leadership. Across the continent, nurses form the backbone of healthcare delivery, and not only in Nigeria, all around the world, right? Nurses are everywhere. Anywhere you are, you find nurses. It's a very diverse profession. We are everywhere, right? So it makes sense to be able to, improve, the competencies of nurses that are, these professionals are everywhere. It makes sense that when we want to improve healthcare, let's improve nursing. Right. Yet the challenges and opportunities imagined today require more than the traditional practice. If we are going to be improving healthcare, we cannot rely on traditional practice. So there is a demand for a generation of nurses who can think creatively, question deeply, and lead boldly. This session invites you to reimagine what is possible when African nurses become, excuse me, when African nurses become digital innovators who can leverage technology to deliver smarter, more accessible care, when African nurses become research driven practitioners who generate evidence tailored to African realities. We have a lot of evidence out there, in the Western nations, in North America. Currently, I'm speaking from the Faculty of Nursing, University of Alberta. However, we have a lot of research that has been done in these developed countries, but as far as Africa is concerned, there is minimal representation as far as evidence that can be tailored to African realities is concerned, and we need to arise even to this challenge. So we also want to reimagine what is possible when African nurses become mentor leaders equipped with the confidence, clarity to shape policy, education, and clinical excellence. Africa faces complex health challenges that demand new competencies and forward thinking nursing leaders. Some of the challenges we are experiencing includes rising disease burden. We have in expanding digital ecosystems. Digital spaces are, they are penetrating everywhere as a rise in the use of mobile technology in Africa. However, we need nurses who can, leverage these technologies, use them. We're also facing global mobility of healthcare workers. We call it the Jackpot syndrome in Nigeria. We have people are, healthcare professionals, they are living in droves. And we also need a stronger research voice. We have gaps in mentorship and leadership pathways. Transformation is not optional, it is urgent and necessary. So I'll be looking at three major engines of sustainable transformation in this presentation, right, that we need to leverage if we want to improve Africa's healthcare system. And the first is digital innovation, the second is nursing research capacity, and the third is mentorship and leadership capacity. So let's dive into the first, building digital innovators in African nursing. We need to understand how to use technology to enhance care delivery, efficiency, and patient outcomes. And this includes electronic health records, telehealth, virtual care, mobile health, AI, Internet of Things, simulation, virtual reality, and a host of others, which we are going to be looking at as we move on in this presentation. So why do we need nursing digital leaders on the African soil, in the Africa continent? Many African populations live in underserved areas. By that, I mean areas that have very little access to health care. They are struggling, with their health in different areas, and we can leverage technology to, to reach out and to get across to this area. Penetration is high. Oh, there is a high penetration of mobile health, that's mHealth, using mobile technology, to deliver care. It's on the high side. Many communities now have access to mobile phones, even if they don't have access to all these very tech iPhones and all, they still have access to some mobile phones that they can use for making calls and things like that. So this is an opportunity for designing, care. A report some years back said that some communities even have access even to mobile technology now than they have access to clean water. So telehealth expands access to maternal, chronic, and mental health services. So we need African leaders who can leverage these technologies, to deliver these services. And AI is on the rampage. AI is changing the dynamics of everything. We need healthcare, African nursing leaders that can understand how to, develop AI-enabled interventions to triage for diagnosis and decision support and a host of others. Nurses must not only use these tools, we must take the lead as far as developing them, shaping them, making sure that they are tailored to the realities of our patients. And that's where we come in. We are with the patients 24 hours. We understand their needs, we understand their challenges, and we need to be able to represent them, giving them a voice. We must not leave the tech space just for the tech guys, the tech bro, tech Cs, and things like that. We must take our lead. We must take the lead as far as using these tools is concerned, right? All right, let's talk about some practical digital innovations that African nurses can take the lead. And I'll be reading a number of them that we can, take the lead in. So we have telenursing platforms for rural communities, mHealth penetration is high, I mentioned that earlier on, right? And then one area that I want us to focus on is in the area of mobile technology. And this is me during my PhD that I conducted between year 2020 and year 2023. And in this, program, I was able to develop a mobile application for providing psychoeducational support for Nigerian women with breast cancer receiving chemotherapy. And after this program that I did, I got a major, a lot of modular projects. And after that, I also got a major grant over on 140,000, Canadian dollars to move to Canada to now conduct more research as far as this area is concerned. A lot of funds really is being pumped into this area, and we need to take the lead as nurses in developing mobile applications that can be used for providing psychoeducational support or many other areas of support for healthcare for our patients. Right, so this is the app interface that I developed during my PhD, and I know many of us, are yearning to develop our competencies in areas like this. So another area where African nurses, can take the lead is in the area of wearable devices and telenursing. So these are devices, wearables, that can be developed, some patients now use, even people who are not patients, they are just, interested in their health. They have things like, iWatch, mobile technology, apps on their phones that can measure some things. We have Googles now that can be used in healthcare, a number of things like that, that patients can use. So we can develop these technologies and nursing, the nurse is, with a computer, and he or she is delivering care, consulting virtually, and a lot of things like that. I was discussing with a nurse some weeks ago, and she's telling me of the innovation she's bringing to healthcare in Nigeria through home care nursing. Right, she's developing home care nursing in such a way that she can render care for patients, care for patients, in different ways, visiting them. And telenursing can also be a tool that she can use. You don't have to go there, or maybe if you are not, maybe if you are far away, maybe your staff working with you, some of them have visited the areas, right? And then you can, consult from the comfort of your homes. They can ask questions, you can clarify misconceptions. A lot, and I mean a lot, can happen as far as the field of telenursing is concerned. Another area is assistive living technologies. We have a lot of, people in Nigeria, older people that have a lot of mobility issues. They can leverage technology, right, in delivering, in assisting them. African leaders can leverage technologies, developing competencies in developing interventions that can be put online, put in various forms, formats that older people can now start using, can watch, and of course, this can improve their mobility and other areas. They can conduct exercises through these platforms and things like that. Right. Another area is point of care documentation. I practiced in various healthcare facilities in Nigeria from my graduation in 2011 to 2017 before I moved to the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. And at that time, we were not using point of care documentation. So, point of care documentation, I'm not sure if we have gotten to that level now. It means that when you are rendering care for your patients right at the bedside, excuse me, of the patient, you can deliver your care and document, using computers, using, devices, smart devices, tablets, and a couple of things like that you don't need to wait until you go round, and then you now come back to the nurse's station. You now start writing in files that can easily be misplaced, sheets that can fall away, and other things like that. Point of care documentation, right? Patient portals also very important. AI in Alberta, for example, we have, my health Alberta, whereby the patients, can just have access to their health records. They can, monitor their health. Patients nowadays, they are not just passive recipients of care. They are not just receiving care, in a passive way, but patients wants to take the lead. They want to actively participate in care, right? And we need to also develop systems whereby they can easily track their care. We can monitor them and things like that. Another area is social media, and a lot of nurses in Nigeria on the African soil. We are developing competencies in these areas, providing healthcare information through social media and a host of other platforms like that. Right, robotics is another area, in digital health that is coming up in the developed nations. Many robotics are being built. Robots are being built in different areas like surgery, patient interaction, cleaning, and a host of other things like that. We need to bring all this innovation to the African soil. Right. And in nursing education, we have simulation and skills training. When I trained as a nurse, we are using real, of course, we can use mannequins sometimes, but that time you go to the hospital, you conduct vital signs, you use actual patients, to learn. But we are moving fast away from that now, so that we can have high fidelity mannequins, that can mimic various human conditions. They actually look like humans because some of them even have pulses, they can have temperature, some of them can even have conditions like postpartum hemorrhage and a host of other things like that. That is the era of simulations, and patients, I mean, nurse educators can use that as a tool to teach nursing students, right? All right, virtual reality is another important area that you can be in that space out of the world, out of that classroom that you are, into a space whereby you can now be there and you can now start learning skills, try, developing a lot of things. And I mean, skills, competencies that we need, as nurses, for in rendering care to our patients, right? And it's important is to also develop competencies as far as this area is concerned. Augmented reality is another important area. So what's the difference between virtual reality and augmented reality? In virtual reality, you are out of that space, in quote. So when when you use those devices, it transports you, as it were, to that another world entirely, where you can start manipulating, maneuvering, learning things like that. However, in augmented reality, you are still in that space. You are in that space, and right in that space, you can, bring up maybe like computers, like tablets, like mobile devices, and you can use that even to, learn some procedures with the patient and other things. I mean, with the mannequins, and, learning a lot of stuff, procedures, and all. Right, right. E-learning platforms, nurses are taking the lead as far as developing e-learning platforms that can, that African nurses can use to learn skills, learn education, learn nursing education skills, learn, clinical competence, pass nursing council examinations, and also apologies. I had a little technical issue there. I'm not sure what you had last, but I'm going to try to move, maybe backtrack a bit, because I was just speaking on. Right. Okay. I'm not sure what you are seeing now at your end. But let me now share my screen. Okay. I'm not sure if you add this when I was talking about how we can use e-learning platforms to learn, learn how to pass exams and all. And I said this, technologies that have been developed in the Western nations, North America to be precise, for passing the NCLEX examination. And I was saying that we need nurses that can also build, resources like this for nurses on the African soil, and they can also use it for passing NCLEX, the nursing council examination in Nigeria, for example, and other nursing examinations in Africa, and even just building skills that are African related, on our soil, right? And I said that there are also digital tools that are being used for writing and research. A lot of these tools, I know many of you use ChatGPT, but be very careful the way you use ChatGPT, so that you don't run into trouble, right? For research, Google Notebook, NLM. Oh, I love this tool so much. You can put your PDFs on it and ask it questions about the PDF. Oh my God, it's so beautiful, so beautiful when you're trying to get some ideas from a particular paper that has been published. Research as a tool for transformation. Why do we need to conduct research? Why does research matter? Research is the engine that shapes policy, improves care outcomes, guides innovation, strengthens professional identity, and can position African nurses in global conversations. We need to hear the voice of African nurses. Our voices need to be amplified as far as the world of research is concerned, as far as evidence is concerned. Like I mentioned earlier, without research, innovation is trial and error. And with research, innovation can become scalable and can become sustainable because we are going to be testing, those interventions that we are developing. I mentioned when I developed the mobile application during my PhD, we had to pass it through various tests, rigors of tests, trying to refine it, trying to make sure that there is evidence that it can, deliver what we are trying to make it deliver. Right. Current gaps in African nursing as far as research is concerned. We have low publication outputs. Not many publications are coming out from nurses. I remember I worked, for some months, it's running 2 years at Lasso in Ikeja. And when I got to this hospital for the very, very first time, one of the things that caught my attention is one notice board like that. And we had a lot of, papers that have been published, and all of them, were published by medical doctors and other professionals. And I was looking for nurses, looking for nursing research. I couldn't find them there. I hope things have changed now. And one of the visions I have for African nursing is that we're going to have in our hospital research units, research nurses, and they are going to be equipped with the resources, with the internet, with the facilities they need to conduct research, and their work will just be towards getting grants for the hospital, pumping money into research, developing evidence and changing the dynamics of healthcare in Africa. Right, limited research training. Not many people know how to conduct research in the very appropriate way. That research should be conducted. Few funded research programs on the African continent, inadequate mentorship, limited leadership in global research networks. Right, and one of the things we did in Nigeria was, through the Fellowship of Christian Nurses, we are able to form an organization known as INR in 2016, and I was privileged to serve as CEO of this organization from 2016 to year 2024. Right, that's my mentor, that Professor Priska Adejumo, leading one of the research seminars we did in the year 2016, in Luth, in Lagos, and we've done a lot, published. Oh, when you go online, you see a lot of our activities, projects we have done, and research we have conducted, and we have a journal club that is systematically, building the competence of nurses from Nigeria, Africa, and all around the world as far as research is concerned. Right, and research scholarships are another way by which we can develop the competencies of African nurses in research. I mentioned that we have limited funding for research in Nigeria, limited funding for research on the African soil, and we need African nurses that can get scholarships, go to various countries of the world, go to Asia, go to Europe, go to North America, and go there and build competencies in research, and then come back home and use those competencies to improve research on the African soil. And I do this a lot currently. I'm a senior lecturer at Crusoe University. I mentor nursing students in research. I teach MSc PhD students at Bowen University in Nigeria, virtually, right? And through RNR, we have done a lot as far as improving research competencies of nurses in Africa is concerned. And mentorship is another bridge to sustainable growth. Mentorship, very, very important. Mentorship is how one generation lifts the next. And I'm so committed to this. This is a summit I held just, how many weeks ago now? Maybe around 2 weeks ago in Lagos, Nigeria, where I'm trying to do a lot as far as, building the competence of nurses in the area of research, in the area of innovation, through my consulting firm. Is a global consulting firm. Some of you might have heard of it, Nurses This is a brand I'm building, trying to solve many of these problems that I have earlier identified. So why mentorship is a game changer? It reduces career confusion, right? It shortens learning curves. What you will learn, you will take what took us a lot of things, a lot of years, try and error to learn you can just come on board and within a very short time you can pick it. As far as my mentorship in Scope is concerned, for example, in the area of research, so I mentor in research, in digital innovation, I mentor in postgraduate education pathways, clinical transition from clinical to the academia, moving into, you want to travel abroad for your PhD, for your masters, because it's so different. The terrain is so different. Doing a postgraduate in Nigeria is different from doing it abroad. So there are things you need to learn to be able to get scholarships. And we have people that have mentored, that have gotten scholarships straight from BNSC to the PhD level, without doing masters. And some are doing their masters in different countries of the world and a lot of things like that. So one of the things I've been able to achieve through this platform is that the learning curve is shortened, because many of the things that took me so long to learn, I can teach nursing students and they can get it in a very short time. Some of the skills that I learned during my PhD, I'm teaching undergraduates and they are getting it. Right. Just in the next couple of days, some of my mentors are going to be presenting in the first oncology nursing conference in Nigeria. Some of them came for mentorship at Nursing Scope, and through that platform, they learned a lot on how to conduct scoping reviews. And within a very short time, few months, some of them don't even have masters, and they are now mentoring PhD students. Because some of these things, if you don't know it, you don't know it. When you know it, right, you can be able to teach anybody, no matter the level that nurse is, because you as a nurse, you have built that skill and you can teach other people, right? And that's something I'm very, very committed to. Helps nurses gain clarity, helps them gain confidence, right? Supports research, academic and leadership development, prevents burnout. You get tired when you are just trying and you're not getting results. Just learn, from someone who has, gone ahead, like we used to say in the Nigerian parlance, that follow person with no road. I'm using mixing in English and pidgin, don't mind me. Follow person with no road, right? Build innovators and thought leaders. Through mentorship, you can build innovators and thought leaders in various areas. And the mentorship gap in African nursing, many nurses are talented. Talent is not a problem. I've come to notice that on the African soil. Oh, we have nurses who are highly talented. They are doing so much for their community, but have no direction. Right? Limited structured mentorship programs, hierarchical culture creating distance, lack of exposure to global standards, and limited funding for mentorship programs. And that's one of the reasons why we have developed the Nurses Scope Mentorship Academy, where we go through a personalized mentorship program. We identify your needs, understand where you are, and we take you through that process of moving from that point that you are even to the next level that you are meant to get to. And these are some of the services we render through the Nurses Scope model of mentorship. And as I round up recently, I published a book. I would like you to read this book. It has been transforming, lives, changing destinies in nursing. People are starting to dream again. Or some people that are tired of nursing. Some of the people have messaged, oh, when I read your book, I'm going back to nursing. I've been disconnected from nursing. I'm just coasting along, but now my vision for nursing has been revamped. You want to read this book, get it on those platforms, and I know you are going to really be blessed and enjoy reading it. Stronger, healthier Africa begins with the courage of its nurses, and that courage begins today. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm so excited. Let me just take my final short and closing remarks as I end this presentation. I'm not sure if you add this. Let me take it again. In conclusion, Africa needs more nurses who can innovate, question, build, and lead. And this digital transformation, research excellence, and intentional mentorship are the foundations of the future we must create. And the journey toward a stronger, healthier Africa begins with the courage of its nurses, and that courage begins today. Thank you so much for listening to me, and God bless you all. And thanks to Nurse Image Committee, the conference planning committee, for this opportunity. I do not take it for granted. God bless you all. Bye bye.
Ah,
Wow. No, I mean, I think wow is an understatement.
I am speechless.
Cause what?
That
Oh
was
my
an
God.
insightful session.
That was no. That was
Like-
that was wow.
I am literally
Wow.
like
Wow.
I don't even know what to say.
Wow.
My daughter
I
is
mean-
cool, guys. Like
Guys,
I want
guys,
to believe
guys, guys,
it's not
guys,
just
guys.
my daughter.
It can't be just us.
Because
No, no,
after
no.
this conference, I am going back to my
Definitely.
daughter
I mean,
to sit down
oh my God.
and regain from what we just heard.
I mean,
It's not even heard.
this
Like
is
learn.
learned. I mean, no. Let's give it up for him. Wow, that is powerful.
Like I don't
mean,
know. We are not together, but a round of
a round of applause for him. Wherever you are, you need to no. You should actually stand and give him a round of applause because I mean, no. That's beautiful. That's
You know, when you
beautiful.
have leaders that are shaping the future of nursing,
Like,
it motivates us.
Definitely.
It motivates the new generation of nurses.
We can do more. We can do more. I mean, we can do more.
I am so full
Wow.
right now,
I feel
and
like
I still have capacity for more.
definitely,
I
and I
have
feel like
capacity for
with
more.
this speech now, with what we've heard, I think everybody can leave here with a mind of transforming not just the primary health care center in your community. No. I think that's too small.
This
Nigeria
session-
is too small.
Do you know this session is even making me see myself in a global light already? Like I am not limited to
mean,
the environment.
Thank God it's not just me, because wow, that's so beautiful. And I think with this same energy, we can move on to the next speaker. Ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, Philip, before we move on, if
Okay.
we have any question or any clarification, there is an anonymous link in the chat box.
Yes, you should see
Let
it now
us
already.
all send our questions there, and the answers will be sent to the Nurse Image WhatsApp group.
Definitely,
So yes,
definitely. You
I
will get
believe
your
we have
answers to
questions.
Do you have
We are
questions?
charged
Do you
up.
have innovations? Do you have ideas? Do you have things that you feel like they've
Just
not
send
worked
them
out
in.
and you want to ask for clarity? Just send them in. Send them. Definitely, you will get an answer for this. And I think with that, we can now move on to the next speaker, right?
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, come along with us as we introduce to you Nurse Adewumi Oluwatobi.
Oluwatobi is a registered nurse, digital health professional, and product innovation specialist with over 6 years of experience driving digital transformation across Africa. He has supported over 100 innovators through leading accelerators and unlocked over $200,000 in seed and grants funding for health tech ventures. As the executive director of Innovate Health Africa, he has designed and led capacity building programs that have powered over 5,000 healthcare professionals, built solutions addressing pressing healthcare challenges, and has shared insight on over 25 local and global stages. Oluwatobi advises public and private organizations, startups, and individuals, helping them shape strategy, design sustainable digital health solutions, and build inclusive systems that deliver measurable health impact across the continent.
And ladies and gentlemen, Nurse Oluwatobi will be speaking to us on redefining patient care in Africa, merging technology, culture, and compassion through innovative nursing solutions. We present to you Nurse Adewumi Oluwatobi. You have the floor, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and I'm very excited to join you all at the Nurse March Conference 2025. And I hope you've had an amazing time so far, and of course, looking forward to the sessions tomorrow as well. Big shout out to the planning and organizing team for the invite. Thank you very much. For bringing me here to speak on one of the um, topics that I believe we will all learn from, and we can take one or two things away that we can begin to apply directly to our professional journey, personal development, and of course in our various areas of work. All right. I believe we're going to have an exciting next 20 minutes together. All right. So today I've been invited to speak on the topic merging technology, culture, and compassion through innovative nursing solution. Sorry, the topic look so long, but I'm just going to simplify it. Right. It says merging technology, culture, and compassion through innovative nursing solution. So basically, what this topic is asking us to look into is um, um, how can we actually improve care through nursing innovation? How can nurses contribute leveraging digital technology to improve care in whatever form it is? We have this just very brief outline we're going to look at. In order to give us context for our discussion, right, we will look at where healthcare is standing currently in Africa. We are in Africa and we will be speaking based on the African context. We can borrow one or two ideas from diaspora or beyond Africa, but in order for these sessions to be relatable and relevant, we will talk in the context of Africa. All right, so we're going to look at where healthcare is in Africa. We will also look at where healthcare is supposed to be, right? And we will examine how technology and innovation is currently accelerating progress towards where healthcare is supposed to be. And the most important part of this presentation that I will pay attention to is, as nurses, right, as professionals, whether you're a student or you are already registered, whatever level you are in, what, where, and how can you contribute to uh, 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 um, the progress of healthcare in Africa, leveraging technology and innovation? All right. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're going to start. And first, we'll look at where is healthcare in Africa. Where is healthcare in Africa by current data? So I'm going to give us a snapshot of what healthcare looks like currently in Africa, right? Let's look from the angle of maternal mortality. 390 women will die in childbirth for every 100,000 live births by 2030. This number is more than 5 times above the 2030 SDG target of fewer than 70 maternal deaths per 1,000. So the target is to reduce maternal deaths to 70 of 100,000. But by that 2030, 390 African women will still be dying from childbirth. Let's look from another angle. Let's look from the angle of infant mortality, right? By 2030, there will be an expected 54 deaths per 1,000 births. 54 deaths. That means out of every 1,000 children, infants that are given birth to, 54 of them will die. Again, this is above the reduction target of 25 per 1,000. The target by 2030 is to have not more than 25 that will die. But in Africa, 54 are expected to die. That's another problem. Let's look from the angle of life expectancy, and this is particularly very concerning and interesting to me at the same time. The top 10 countries with the highest life expectancy, look at the flag, there is no African. The top 10 countries in the world with the highest life expectancy, no single African country. However, look at the top 10 countries with the lowest life expectancy. All are African countries, including Nigeria. The top 10 countries with the lowest life expectancy. Who knows the current life in Nigeria? It should be around, I think the recent one I read was around 56 or maybe 65 or so, around 50. Is not more than that. I'm very sure it's not more than that. Now, this is another very concerning thing. I'm painting a picture for us, This is another challenge. With just 15% of the world's population, Africa accounts for 50% of global deaths from communicable disease. Let me explain what this means. Now, Africa makes up 15% of the world population, 15%. Now, despite of that, or in spite of that, 50% of global deaths from communicable disease comes from Africa, despite the fact that we only make 15% of the global population. That's another problem. A third of Africans live more than 2 hours away from health services. An average African, 1 out of every 3 African lives at least 2 hours away from where maybe a chemist or a primary health service or a hospital is. There is a challenge, right? Let's talk about the money part of things. It is estimated that Africa loses $2.4 trillion. It's not million, it's not billion, $2.4 trillion in annual output due to poor health. Are you seeing that there's a lot of problem? There's a lot of trouble, right? And this is one that we are all familiar with, brain drain. There have been a lot of immigration, mass migration, brain drain of our healthcare workforce trooping out of Africa into more developed economy, or as we will call it, greener pastures, right? Leaving our already strained, already disrupted healthcare system more strained. Now, this picture, this data so far, there are more data, there are more, stories, there are more headlines, there are more statistics that suggest to us that in terms of healthcare, Africa is still in a very, very big trouble, right? I'll put it that way, right? In terms of healthcare, we still have a long way to go. There are still a lot of problems that if we do not begin to rise up to the responsibility to address them, the problem will address us before we address it, right? There's a popular saying that may Nigeria not happen to us. You know what I'm talking about. So there is problem, obviously. Now, let us look at where healthcare is supposed to be. I've shown us where healthcare is currently in Africa and where is it supposed to be? What's the target? For this session, I'm going to use what we call the universal health coverage. You might have heard of it in class or in your place of practice. There's something called the universal health coverage of 2030, UHC 2030. And this universal health coverage has three core pillars. So I'm going to use the three core pillars to explain where healthcare is supposed to be. Now, where healthcare is supposed to be, according to universal health coverage of 2030, is that number one, we have to address who is covered in terms of population. We need to address the fact that more people need access to quality healthcare. More people need access to quality healthcare. More people. You've seen some of the statistics I showed you that a lot of people are still struggling to access basic healthcare. So universal health coverage of 2030 is saying that one of the major areas that we need to focus on to ensure that we achieve universal health coverage is that more people, the population that is accessing healthcare, needs to increase. The second core pillar of UHC, that is the universal health coverage, is in what is covered. That means who is covered is not enough, but what is covered is also very essential in terms of services. I mean, you can go to the hospital and you need to do an X-ray, and they say, sorry, the only X-ray machine in the whole, I don't want to mention any states, but maybe the only X-ray machine in your state is somewhere maybe 4 or 5 hours away. You have to enter, you have to travel like 5 hours just to have an X-ray. So, do you have access to the hospital? Yes. But are you getting the services, the care that you are supposed to get? No. So, universal health coverage is saying that there are a range of services that must be provided for us to achieve universal health coverage by 2030. And the third core pillar of universal health coverage is how healthcare is paid for. That is financing of healthcare. Don't worry, all of this might be sounding abstract. I'm going to tie it all together, and we are going somewhere, right? Now, how is healthcare paid for? That's another core pillar, because you can have access, you can go to the hospital, the services you want to, access might be present, but do you have the money to pay for it? Right? Or is it affordable enough for you to access those services? There are patients that have died because they couldn't pay for CT scan, because they couldn't pay for MRI. There are people who have been denied access to care because, we've heard a lot of stories, we've seen a lot of scenarios. We are nurses that probably your hospital or somewhere says that, oh, no, you have to make a deposit before we attend to them. I mean, come on, that's way, 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 way far from what universal health coverage is saying. Someone is obviously bleeding, maybe from a gunshot or maybe from accident, and this guy is bleeding, and you're saying, sorry, go and deposit before we attend to them. No, right? So what we are saying is the population covered, the services that are included, and the affordability of these services are the three core pillars by which universal health coverage will be achieved in the year 2030. But given the statistics that I've just shown you in the previous section, do you think Africa is anywhere close to achieving universal health coverage in 2030? Do you think? No, we are not close. However, this is where we now begin to think of how can we accelerate progress towards universal health coverage by 2030. The problem exists, obviously. We are in a very deep problem, just like I've shown you. I've shown you where we are supposed to be. How can we ensure meet this target by 2030? There are a lot of ways, but one of the ways that have become very popular and critical recently to the achieving of universal health coverage by 2030 is technology and innovation. Right? Technology and innovation. You cannot, I can tell you for free today, you cannot discuss healthcare today without talking about technology and innovation. Right? So one of the critical tools of accelerating African healthcare to where it is supposed to be, according to the dictates of universal health coverage by 2030, is technology. And Africa has been making some progress. To be honest with you, we've been making a little bit of progress, but we are not yet there. Now, let me show you some of the progress we've been making, and let me show you how Africa has been leveraging technology to move or to accelerate progress towards universal health coverage by 2030. Right? So, how is technology accelerating progress? I will explain again this session using the three core pillars. Remember, the first core pillar of universal health coverage we talked about was population, how many people are able to access healthcare. Now, there are organizations, companies, digital health solutions, technology-powered solutions that are currently ensuring that more people are having access to healthcare, regardless of where they live, regardless of the circumstances or situations surrounding their geography. Right? There are people living in the remotest areas or the remotest region of a particular environment or of a country that by default they should not have access. But technology is ensuring that they now have access. They are now able to access healthcare services regardless of where they are. And these are some of the organizations like I listed here, Mobi Health, Zuri Health. You can Google them and see how they are doing this. Doc, Google them, they are there, right? Underserved communities, right? Remote areas. So these companies or these solutions that I've listed down here, they are part of the solutions that are ensuring that healthcare reach more people. Now, the second core pillar is services. So there are some again. If you look at the lower part of the slide, you would see I've also listed some other companies again that are ensuring the availability, right, of essential services for people who want them. M-Track in Uganda, Drugstore, Helium Health. Some of us might have heard of Helium Health. They provide the EHR or EPR services. MedServe, Health Tracker, Zipline, right? Lot of organizations, lot of technological powered solutions are now emerging to ensure that basic essential services that an average individual or an average African would need are becoming more available, right? Probably in the past, about 10, 15, 20 years ago, you can't use drone to deliver bloods or blood packages or blood or healthcare product to hospitals or to where it is needed. But now, Zipline, for example, is an organization or is a startup that has built a solution, tech powered drone that can pick up a blood product, maybe old blood, whatever kind of blood it is, from wherever the blood is coming from or wherever the blood bank is, and deliver it to the institution that needs it. Right? It's not the one that you say, oh, somebody needs blood and they are stuck in traffic. No. So these are some of the examples of how people are now leveraging technology to solve some of this problem and ensure acceleration towards services. And the last part is affordability, right? And again, there are institutions, organizations, solutions, startups that are ensuring that healthcare or that are operating with the mission that healthcare is more affordable to people who wants to access it. Wella Health is an example. Maitura just launched something called MediLoan that you can access healthcare and pay later when you have the money. Right? Reliance HMO, some of us know these guys. So this is just a snapshot to give us a background. This is not my presentation, right? This is just a background to give us something to build on, right? To give us an understanding of the state of healthcare in Africa, where it is supposed to be, and how technology is currently being leveraged, right, to accelerate us towards that place. And of course, some of the techs powering the organizations I've mentioned include telemedicine, AI and machine learning, data analytics, robotics, Internet of Things, 3D printing, and lots more. Now, this is my presentation. Nurses, what, where, and how can you and I contribute to leveraging technology to accelerate progress towards, quality care, towards accessible care, and towards affordable care in Africa? What can you do? What can I do? Now, this is where I'm going to talk a lot. I think I have 5 minutes more, but I'll try to run. An average nurse, I'll take Nigeria as an example or as a case study. An average nurse in Nigeria doesn't care about this thing I'm about to say, right? An average nurse in Nigeria just wants to wake up, wants to go to their place of work, wants to do whatever they have to do, and get out of the place and wait for their pay at the end of the month. And probably, maybe if they have the opportunity, they do their degree. If they have the opportunity, they do their masters. That's if, and glory to God. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. However, as a nurse that will be relevant in the current age that we have to go beyond what is currently defined as the scope of nursing practice, or as the scope, or what the society has stereotyped nursing to be, right? We must begin to think of what can we contribute, where can we contribute, and how can we contribute, leveraging technology, right? Now, let's start with the what. As a nurse, whether you are a student or you are registered, you're already working, whatever level you are, the first question is, what can you contribute? leveraging technology? What can you contribute to, ensuring healthcare is accessible, is quality, and is affordable? Let's talk about the what. Number one thing you can contribute is improving the quality of care with digital tools, right? I've seen some healthcare institutions, some hospitals where we try to implement some health tech solutions just to make their work easy, to make their patient more comfortable, to make the way they offer their care and deliver their services more efficient. But one of the top people that antagonizes or that stand against those kind of solutions are nurses, right? They are nurses. They will tell you, it makes the thing slow. We'll now be pressing computer. No, we must carry bedpan with dignity. AI cannot come and take our job. Robots cannot come and take our job. Sit down there. Right, sit down there. You will sit down and be doing your what's it called now? Therapeutic care when robots is taking your jobs, right? So what I'm saying is one of the things that nurses needs to begin to do is to improve the quality of care with digital tools. You need to begin to look out for digital tools that you can leverage to improve the quality of care that you offer to your patients, right? Or even if you are not working in the clinicals, there are other plenty areas of nursing that is non-clinicals. There are digital tools, right, that you can leverage even in those areas as well. The second thing you can begin to do is you can begin to strengthen the quality of available healthcare data. And I will explain what I mean. Most of the technological solutions today are reliant heavily on data. Most of the technologies you see today, the EMR, AI, machine learning, whatever technology you see, they are heavily reliant. In fact, let me tell you, there's nothing called AI without data. There is no artificial intelligence without data. There is no machine learning without data. Whatever form of technology you see at a high level now are heavily reliant on data. And in order for technology to be able to effectively transform healthcare, there must be there must be an availability of quality healthcare data. And where does that quality healthcare data comes from? From your documentation, right? From your input, from what you contribute, from what you do and document. So one of the ways you can, contribute in this regard is by making sure that there is an available quality data, that every of your documentation is not just let's just do it and tick the box. You are documenting things that could inform the design of a solution, or that could even inform the um improvement of existing solutions, right? And again, what can you contribute? You can contribute by driving innovation and patient-centered solution. Let me talk a little bit about this. I used to say something that nurses are innovators by default, right? Everybody knows that nurses are innovators by default. The only people that does not know is nurses themselves. Like I said earlier, an average nurse just wants to go to work, come back home, go the next day, and then just continue that cycle. However, the challenges and problems in healthcare are closest to nurses, or nurses are the closest to the challenges and problems of healthcare. Right? So if there is anybody better positioned or best positioned to solve the problems of healthcare, is nurses. Right? We go to work every day. We spend the highest amount of time with the patients. By demography, nurses has the highest number of professionals in his not nursing is the healthcare profession with the highest number of individuals in it. There's a way I wanted to say it, but that just went off. But you know what I mean, right? By every standard, and I'm not saying this because I'm a nurse, by every standard, nurses are the best position to solve the most pressing healthcare problems that we are facing on the continent. right? So what you need to begin to do as a nurse is have that understanding that you are a problem solver, you are an innovator by default. What you only need to do is you need to begin to pay attention to the problems. Some of the things we do, one of the things we pride ourselves on we pride ourselves in as a nurse is that we have the ability to improvise, leveraging everything that is available to ensure we still do what we need to do. We call it improvisation. Do you know that improvisation is innovation? That thing you are improvising can be converted to an innovation that will, solve the problem you are improvising for at scale. There's a popular example I normally use. There are some guys who in US who, you know, when you have a seizure patient, for instance, when you have a seizure patient and they are convulsing, they have the risk of hitting their head on the side rails of the bed. And one of the things we do, right, is we carry pillows or bed linen and then just use it to pad the side of the railings or whatever we call it now, so they don't hit their head directly on the metal or directly on the stuff, right? Now, these guys in the US saw this. Normally, what we will call it is improvisation, and they turned that improvisation to a product that is a multi-million dollar product today in the US. It is called seizure pads. Go and Google it, right? It is called seizure pads. They are nurses. They are both nurses. The two founder or the two guys who are in charge of it are nurses. And that was how it started. So probably what you do every day, that you go, "Oh, I'm improvising, I'm improvising." Have you thought of it as scale that, oh, this thing can actually be powered by technology and scaled to different, areas of healthcare where it can solve the problem you are trying to improvise for at scale? Right? So you need to begin to think in that direction. What problem are affecting my area of practice? What problem do I see every day in the clinicals? Is there a way I can solve this problem, or is there a way technology can solve this problem? So this is how we need to begin to think as nurses. Where can we contribute? The area of contribution of nurses towards quality, affordable, and accessible healthcare is not limited to the clinical care environment alone, right? Thank God for conferences like Nurse Emerge, which one of the major theme is exploring specialties beyond, right, beyond the bedside, right? So where nurses can contribute is not limited to the clinical care environment. It's not limited to the bedside. Bedside is good, right? If you are working in the bedside and you have no intention of leaving and you are enjoying what you are doing, of course, you are doing perfectly well. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not missing out on anything. Stay there, do well, and enjoy your career. However, beyond that stereotypical, what I'm saying is, beyond that stereotypical idea that the only place a nurse can function is in the bedside, then we have to begin to rethink that. As a nurse, you can contribute beyond the bedside, in the community, in the health tech innovation space. There are a lot of nurses who are founders. There are a lot of nurses who have built solutions, who have built tech powered tools. There are a lot of nurses in education and capacity building, right? All of the CPD courses you're doing. Doctors, I'm sorry if there's a doctor in the house, but doctors should not be designing a CPD course for a nurse, right? Doctors should not be designing a competency-based training for a nurse. It's not done. It's not done. It's not done. Right. This is where nurses needs to begin to step into, and um, uh, steer the conversation by themselves. Right. Education and capacity building, leadership, policy, advocacy, right? My time is on the last. You can, how can I do all of this? The first thing you can begin to do, because if you don't understand how you can contribute, then everything I've said would not be possible, right? So how can you contribute as a nurse? One of the ways you can contribute is to begin to equip yourself in digital literacy and probably some technical skills. The technical skills part of it is not compulsory, in quotes, it's not compulsory, but one compulsory part of it is that you must build digital literacy. You must empower yourself with digital literacy. Digital literacy is different from acquiring technical skills. So you can go online and again Google what digital literacy in healthcare means. You will see a good explanation to that, right? So you must begin to build yourself in digital literacy. And digital literacy include, knowing and understanding how to leverage data for decision making, media literacy, cyber security. How to, it entails a lot of things, right? So it's very compulsory for you to learn that, and then technical skills if you have the ability to. Another thing on how you can contribute is you have to begin to adopt and champion digital tools. A patient will trust a digital health tool if it is a nurse advocating or preaching it to them, right? So you must not only use it, you must also be championing it, even to your fellow colleagues at work. There are some people who will still not use EMR today because they feel like tech is taking their job or is making them slow down or something. So you can be that person that begin to make people see the importance or the efficiency or the benefit of some of these digital solutions, right? Lead problem solving and innovation, like I have explained earlier. And one other critical area is that nurses need to begin to contribute to research and data quality. All right. So these are the areas nurses can contribute. I used to say that again, the best set of people, or the set of people that are best positioned to solve most of the healthcare challenges in Africa are nurses, right? And we need to begin to act in that line by deploying all of our resources, our time, our energy, our thinking, our abilities, right, into ensuring that healthcare is more accessible, healthcare is more affordable, and healthcare is getting to the people that needs it the most. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any question, any clarification, you want to learn more, just reach out to the organizing team, or you can message me directly on LinkedIn, WhatsApp. If you have my contact, Oluwatobi Adewumi is my name, and I will be happy to answer your question. Thank you so much, and I hope you do enjoy the rest of the event. Have a good evening.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
I mean, I am even short of words because that was a very insightful session.
Man,
Like,
really.
it was so amazing, and right now I am just full of ideas.
Concept.
Like, there's a lot going on in my mind right now, and I'm like, wow, quality healthcare is achievable
Definitely.
in Nigeria and everywhere.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
nursing my highs to be a better person, and this is just a better nurse.
Right,
I mean, I
right.
don't have to be the regular. I don't have to be someone who treats a patient
Exactly.
and beyond patients.
Beyond patients.
Like, there is research. There's a lot of things we can do in nursing,
honestly.
and really, that was an insightful. I'd love to extend my appreciation personally,
Thank you so much, sir.
and on behalf of everyone watching, to Nurse Oluwatobi.
So much,
That was
sir.
an
Thank you so much.
insightful.
That was
Really
insightful.
appreciate.
Thank you so much, sir. What you've written down, check them. What are things that have inspired? You can type them in the chat box. It's not a problem. You can type them in the chat box and then check those things. Whatever ideas you have now, pen them down so that you don't forget. I mean,
even if you have questions, you can send them into the question links pinned at the chat box session. You can send your questions in, for answers, which will be answered on the Nurse Image WhatsApp page. I mean, this is also a time for you to refill your snack bottles, your snack plates,
exactly.
and your water bottles. Yes,
your mini
it's time, because the next session is going to be fire. Yeah,
definitely. And the break, I want us to just do a brief shout out to our. You can introduce yourself. You can tell us about yourself. in the chat box where you're joining from, how you want people to connect with you on Instagram, your name, on LinkedIn, your name, whatever platform you want us to connect with you, and definitely people will find you out. If I don't personally come to find you, people will. We will all be
New to network also. We are not
exactly.
limited,
We are
by,
not
the
limited by the virtual conference.
set.
Not limit us. I mean, at least technology should be for our benefit. Guys, we want to briefly shout out to our sponsors.
NCI Studios.
Thank you so much, NCI Studios.
Nothing
Conception Initiative. Thank you very much.
The Prince
Dynasty Institute. We are grateful.
Top Gold Arts.
Top Good Arts. Thank you. We love you all. Thank you so much.
Trailblazing Nurses.
Trailblazing Nurses. Thank you so much. Trailblazing Nurses. Next, appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank
so
you very much.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining us.
We want to also thank again.
Yes,
thank you for making this conference possible.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to everyone who collaborated in a way for the whole.
Thank you so much. So our speakers, thank you for honoring our invites.
Yes,
really,
yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for choosing to pour into us.
Thank you so much. And to the team of Nosimatch, thank you for making this conference a reality. We look forward to more from you. And guys, on this note,
wait to see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 9th of December, Union Osun Auditorium. Please be there. I mean, I shouldn't be begging you to be there. Come on now, stop it. Stop it. So guys, bye.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Clap it.